Welcome back, everybody. Aesop Grimm here, and this is the intro video for Chronicle number 3 in Crusader Kings 3. The numbering, I feel like I need to explain that. I have 3 total chronicles on my website. The first one was in Ireland, but this is part 2 leading off of Chronicle number 2. Chronicle number 2 was going from the Duchy of Salerno to the Kingdom of Sicily. And here, Chronicle number 3 is going to be reclaiming Italia. And this is all in a grand sweeping design to try and restore Roman borders. So it could be anywhere from 3 to 5 chronicles. And it's a series, So anyway, we have a lot to go through. We are going to be doing, you can see in the screen there, we have the CrusaderBlade mod, and that is going to be phenomenal. I've tested it out a little bit. It is extraordinary. We're going to talk about that. This might be a little bit of a lengthy intro, but let's go ahead and do content briefing first, because that is the upfront thing that I want to do for all of my intros. There is no ESRB rating for Crusader Kings 3. I couldn't find one anyway. But there is for Crusader Kings 2, and it's pretty close. And because we are also incorporating the CrusaderBlade mod, we will also be covering the ESRB rating for Bannerlord. Okay, so for Crusader Kings 3, and reading Crusader Kings 2 ESRB rating, but letting you know that it's fairly close. It's rated T for teen, alcohol reference, mild language, mild violence, and sexual themes. Rating summary. This is a strategy game. Okay, very important. Grand strategy game. It's what's called a map game, guys. You're not going to have animated cutscenes. You don't have any voiceovers. It's all text and a map when it comes to the Crusader Kings side of things. This is a strategy game in which players expand their influence and manipulate political ties in medieval Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa. As players increase their territories and foster relationships with various figures, such as popes, barons, kings, etc., they can engage in military conflicts against opposing factions. Battles are represented by small characters briefly sparring on an atlas-like map. Now that's true for Crusader Kings, but we're going to be doing our battles in Bannerlord. Rival figures can also be imprisoned, executed, or assassinated, which is represented in text selection boxes. During the course of the game, some sexual material is described via on-screen text. There are some pretty strong phrases here that I'm not going to repeat. I will give you that breakdown here momentarily. I'll explain it in a way I think is will make it clear without being vulgar. Some characters can acquire a drunkard personality trait, and alcohol is occasionally mentioned in the dialogue, such as "my husband got me addicted to wine." The words damn and hell also appear in dialogue. Okay, so as I said, there's no animation when it comes to Crusader Kings 3. Well, there is animation. The soldiers move around. You see pieces moving around on the map, but I mean, there's no cutscenes. There is a word that I'm searching for, and I can't seem to think of it, like CGI. There's computer-generated, graphics. So you don't have anything that looks real, like at a cartoon level or a photorealistic level, like some video games have, like Call of Duty has cutscenes. This doesn't have any of that. What it does have is a very neutral. It gives you all the options. You can be evil or you can be good. It makes no judgment. It puts everything before you, and a game like this actually revolves around putting you into moral dilemmas time and time again, and you have to constantly choose between a principled approach or a pragmatic approach. There's seduction in the game. There's even incest in the game. There can be anyway. You can plot to assassinate your family members. You can steal a wife from your brother or a husband, depending on which whatever. There are things like that in the game, but it's all represented in text, and then how you manipulate the actions of the character. It's not represented in like a movie format or a cartoon. You don't see these scenes playing out. So for little kids, they're not going to be interested in this anyway. It's way complex. They'll get bored with it pretty quick. For older kids that can read text and then understand the context within that, that's where you may want to make some considerations, but those are your judgments to make for yourself and for your family. So that does it for Crusader Kings ESRB rating. For the battles, we are going to be moving into a first-person style game called Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. Now that game is technically still in early access, although it's very close to its full release. So we will read the rating summary for the preceding game, which was Warband. This is rated T for teen. Alcohol reference, blood, mild language, mild suggestive themes, and violence. That mild suggestive themes, I don't recall any of that in Bannerlord. That must have been true of Warband, but I haven't seen any of it in Bannerlord. The rating summary says this is an action role-playing game in which players assume the role of an adventurer in a fictional medieval world. Players can freely visit towns, interact with characters, complete quests, and pursue various career paths in the open world environment. The game depicts on-foot and on-horseback combat. Players use swords, axes, hammers, maces, and crossbows to attack enemies. Battles can be frenetic at times with intense audio fidelity. Yeah, intense audio fidelity, loud and constant battle cries, sword slashing, flesh impact sounds. Some scenes involve more protracted melee-style battles against multiple enemies. Small spurts of blood are briefly visible during these battles, and faint bloodstains sometimes develop on characters' clothing and or their skin. Me speaking, Bannerlord is very violent and very visceral. I don't recall the mild suggestive stuff, but the violence is intense. And the game feels very visceral. Like, this is the only game I can think of where playing on a mouse and keyboard, when you make contact with the enemy with your weapon, it's like you can almost feel it. I don't know how they did that, but it tricks the mind a little bit, and it really draws you in. So it's intense, and the audio is on par with what you're seeing on the screen, and your guy can come out of these battles absolutely drenched in blood. Okay, moving on with what this rating says. Let's see. Character dialogue covers a wide range of topics and can include references to suggestive behavior. Again, and they've got some pretty strong stuff here. So Warband had this stuff in it. I have not seen any of this. Nothing in the way of suggestive behavior in the dialogue, voiceovers, or text, or anything like that so far in Bannerlord. The game contains several references to alcohol, e.g. a jar your best wine, now I'm here getting drunk and fight, plunder, and drink, and one quest involves delivering units of ale to a tavern. I don't remember any references to getting drunk. I do know that you can trade in beer and wine, but you're just making money. You're picking up a commodity cheap at one location and carrying it to another location to sell for a little bit more. The last sentence is one quest involves delivering units to avail to a tavern. Expletives such as bastard and damn can be heard in the dialogue. I don't remember it, but that's the kind of stuff that would probably go in one ear and out the other for me, so can't really promise anything. All right, so at 10 minutes, I think that wraps it up for our content briefing. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unlock the desktop and bring up the internet, and we're going to take a look at CrusaderBlade here. Now, this is the website that you go to, and it's just really as simple as typing in CrusaderBlade, and it will be the first option. At least it is for me every time. And it's CrusaderBlade, no spaces or anything, all one word, .itch, I-T-C-H, itch.io. That's the website. All right. If you come here, he tells you exactly how to do this. I'm going to walk you through it a little bit, but he says a mod that combines CK3 and Mountain Blade 2 mechanics. To launch, you specify the path to Bannerlord.exe, then you specify the path to CK3.exe, then you select the language and the maximum battle size in Mountain Blade 2. And I would double check and make sure that when you do this, you go into Mountain Blade 2 separately as if you were just going to play it. Open it normally and go and make sure that you have the same size set in Mountain Blade 2. And then you can play. How to find the path to the exe files of games. And he tells you go to the Steam library, right click on the desired game, manage, browse local files. In the directory that opens, open the folder binaries for CK3 or bin 164 shipping client for Mountain Blade 2. I'm going to go through and show you how to do this, but there's your instructions right there. In this game, it's a little hard to see right here. It'll actually look a little different than this. The axe, this little icon right here, it'll appear like in this vicinity. And you click that to go and fight the battle in Mountain Blade 2. But if it's off the mark or something, he's just giving you instructions on how to change that. And he goes on to say, in order for window switching to work properly, display mode should be set to windowed or borderless full screen in Mountain Blade 2 settings. If you're having performance problems, the game is probably running on an integrated graphics card. You can check this by going into the Mountain Blade 2 settings during the battle and see the video adapter being used. If it is an integrated video card, you need to tell CrusaderBlade.exe to use a high-performance video card in your video card driver settings. Okay, now here he has his Discord where he has communication and tech support, and I've been to that Discord a few times. It's active, it's updated, and he has a Patreon. And I'm telling you guys, this is a really, really high professional level mod. I mean, people have been talking about incorporating games, or at least had that in their minds for a while now. I've never actually seen it happen until this one, and I haven't done it yet, but I intend to visit this guy's Patreon page and make a donation. This mod is out of the world. I mean, it's awesome. And then right here, he has the download button for it. CrusaderBlade 1.1.2.23. 1.1.2.23. Okay, so once you have installed that, then you should be able to see my desktop now. Now, I installed it right onto my desktop. You can put it wherever you want, but you're gonna extract it to wherever you want to, and then you're gonna open it up, CrusaderBlade.exe. And when it first opens up, that's where it's going to ask you where those exe files are that he was telling you about. Now, he told you how to do it through Steam. I'm just going to show you how to do it through your file system. Now, you're going to go wherever your Steam library is at. A lot of you are going to probably have it on your local disk drive under Program Files 86, I believe. under Steam, and then Steam Apps, and then Common. I have mine set to a separate, gosh, I forgot the word, a section of my hard drive. I totally forgot the word, what it's called. But it's the same kind of thing. You hit Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, and in here, your Crusader Kings 3 is going to be in the binaries right there. And you'll select that where it says CK3. You'll click it and you'll navigate to here. Okay, so once again, you're going to go to your Steam Library, Steam Apps, Common, Crusader Kings 3, Binaries, CK3.exe. Okay, and then for Bannerlord, Steam Apps, Common, Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord, Ben, Win64 shipping client. And there are a number of exe files here, but you're going to take the one that he told you to, bannerlord.exe. Okay. And then once you've got that set up, then the way you do this is that you open up CK3 until you're looking at the map. Your game is open. And then you Alt-Tab and you hit play. And this is going to bring up an instance of Bannerlord, but it's through CrusaderBlade. So it really just sits dormant in the background. It doesn't take up any resources at all, or very, very, very little, until you switch from CK3 over into Bannerlord and you fight your battle. It imports a bunch of stuff, such as what kind of terrain you're fighting on. It looks at both armies and it divvies up your army composition as best as it can. It matches the CK3 unit types to the Bannerlord unit types so that each army has as many foot soldiers as is noted in CK3. They have as much cavalry, they have as much frontline troops, and as many crossbowmen or archers. Each army is constituted the way that it is in CK3, and then you also have the named characters as knights and cavalry. And when that battle is over, it will extract the information and import it into CK3, and it'll show you who got captured. It'll show you who was killed, how many were killed, stuff like that. You know, it's really super cool. Okay, so before we actually demonstrate that, I want to show you the mods that I'm using. Now, for CK3, I will put this link right here into the About section of every video, so you can just click on it. But it'll take you to my mod list for Salerno to Sicily. Now, that was the last chronicle, but it's the same mod list with the exception of I was having some problems with historical figure and resizable events. So those are not included in this mod list. That's why you see a green plus sign here. The others that are checked are the ones that are being used. And so you come here and you can just click subscribe to all. Don't forget to go in and disable these two right here, resizable events and historical figure. So that's it. You can take a look at that in closer detail if you want to, if you're interested in using the mods that I am for Crusader Kings 3. For Bannerlord, I can't give you the link. What I can do is I can show you what I've got. This comes off of Nexus. I'm using Vortex. And detailed character creation. For this right here, if you're using CrusaderBlade, you are not playing like the campaign part of Bannerlord. You're just doing the custom battle. So you don't need detailed character creation. You don't need Ambience Lord. I use it because it's a very very light, nuanced change to contrast and lighting in Bannerlord. But I thought it was nice, and so I use that, but you don't have to. From here on down, I think is stuff that you would definitely want to use. If you go to Realistic Battle Mod, let's look at that real quick. Realistic Battle Mod, and here it is at Nexus Mods for Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. If we go to Files, you're going to want this one right here, Realistic Battle Mod, Battle AI module for 1.7.0 stable and 1.7.1 stable. Get that one. Get Realistic Battle Combat module for 1.7.1. This one right here. And under optional files, you can grab RTS camera for 1.7.1. And that will be my setup. I didn't use these others. And the other thing is, it'll give you a link to this unblock DLLs file, and you'll want this to make sure that you don't have any game crashes. So I hope that makes sense to everybody. So again, unblock DLL, better exception window, mod configuration menu, realistic battle mod RTS camera, realistic battle AI module, realistic battle mod, realistic battle combat module, harmony, butterlib, UI extender EX, raise your banner, and custom banners for CrusaderBlade, and they have some instructions to walk you through how to make your own banner so that when you enter into that custom battle, the player always has that banner. So for us, it's going to be the flag for the Kingdom of Sicily, that white flag with the black double-headed eagle on it. Okay, let's go ahead. We're at almost 23 minutes. What we're going to do here is we're going to, for me, the way that it works, I know there's a workaround on this because I have figured it out before, but it keeps kind of, I don't know, when the game updates, it messes up for me. Anyway, what I'm getting at is that for me to open up Crusader Kings 3, I actually have to go through Steam and hit play right here. View updates. What do we got going on here? I didn't expect that. Nothing, I guess. Play game. Bring Steam back up. Okay, we can X out of that. And make sure that you have your mods selected here that you want. And then you will hit play. And then you would load up, start a new game or load your save. So here's our CK3 map. Once you're at this point, you go ahead and click play for CrusaderBlade, and it's going to start up Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord. You can go over here and make sure that the mods that you want activated are activated. Hit play. This is normal. Confirm. This is normal. It's using a Harmony version that's in the CrusaderBlade folder. So it's letting you know, hey, we're finding Harmony in another Another location. Do you want to do that? That's all it's making sure about. Well, it looks like I might have hung up. Oh, no, there it goes. All right. Okay, and then it dumps you back in to CK3. Now, if we look at the task manager, you can see, oh, I have 2 instances open. That's what's going on. All right, well, at any rate, you don't see Bannerlord here. What you'll see is CrusaderBlade, and it's not taking very many resources at all. I think I have a couple instances open here. That's maybe what was giving me problems. So then from here, you would declare war on somebody. And let's just do this real quick. We're not going to actually play it. I just want to show you that icon. Okay. And here's the icon that you would click. And when you click this, it'll take you into Bannerlord. Now, I'm not going to actually do it, but that's how that would work out. Let's close that. Now, I'm going to tell you for us, what we're planning on doing is we're planning on taking over Italy proper. And I done forgot to go and check it out, but under decisions, we have unify Italy, and here's the things that we have to do. Sicily and Croatia are brought back under de jure Italia. So we have Sicily already. We need to grab the rest of Italy, and then we're going to have to grab Croatia over here. Our level of fame has to be exalted among men or better. We have to have the title Italia. We have to completely control the region of Italia and completely control the region of Illyricum. Now, the Illyricum is the part that I'm not 100% about, and it doesn't really... there it is, the yellow borders. Oh, that's a substantial piece. Okay, so all of this... It's the entire Dalmatian coast plus Croatia, and I think this is Serbia up here. I'm not really sure. I think it is. And then we need to have all of Sicily. So I guess we don't need to have Corsica, but we probably will. And that's what the aim of this chronicle is. The last thing that I have to tell you guys about before we call this done is that episode number 1 here, and I might call it something else. I haven't decided, but the first actual gameplay episode that's in this playlist is going to be like a prologue, sort of. I'm not going to record absolutely everything I do. What I'm going to do is this guy is going to need to... Well, we are going to do the war, because I want Capua. It should be ours. It's de jure ours. So we're going to do that, but then once we are done with that, I want to get everything kind of settled and established. So I'm going to be making use of the pause button quite a lot, and we're just going to do sort of a number of years are probably going to pass, and I'm going to bring you back to kind of show you updates and stuff, but it's not going to be a normal gameplay episode. So some of the things that need to be done is we need to convert everything to Orthodox right here and right here once we take this. And what about control? Oh, culture. Everything needs to be Roman. It would be nice. I'm not sure if I'm going to make that an actual for sure must before getting started. I'll sort of play that as I see it. We're in 1061 right now. But I would like to have all of our controlled territory be Roman. And if we look at council and click on control, Arborea, Capua, Foggia, and Bari have to come under our control. What's going on here? Now let's just go ahead and assign this guy so that I can look at this again. Count Fabianus of Siracusa. There's Syracuse, so we have fighting happening within our own empire. And that's going to be another thing we have to do, is we have to make sure our vassals are not getting too strong. But that might happen in the actual normal gameplay episodes. But that first episode is going to be me trying to get the faith and the culture and the control all settled. So those three things. All right, guys, that's going to close it out for this episode. We will be doing right off the bat, we will be using CrusaderBlade to fight this war right here in that first gameplay episode, so you'll get to see how it all works. It's absolutely fascinating and it's exciting. It's really cool, and I think it brings you a lot closer. It makes the immersion and these guys become more than just pictures and names, because that's your retinue. These are your knights that are riding with you, and it's really cool. You'll see, you can see the breakdown after the fight of who wounded who killed who, but you actually saw that happen on the battlefield because we fought it in Bannerlord, and it's a little hard for me to describe, but it really adds. There's something in the way it feels a lot closer, a lot more real. It makes these guys mean something to you, So I'm excited about that, but that'll all be in the next episode. So again, I'm Aesop Grimm. Thank you for coming by this channel. I hope you like what you saw. I hope all is well in your neck of the woods, and I will see you in the next episode where this story begins.